Hello and welcome back to Pull Yourself to Pieces. We will now bring you part 2 of our interview with Chris Switzer. Okay, and where were we? So, so you're saying some from the middle 70s till later, the muscle cars were there was it?
Oh,
Huh?
gone.
Oh, yeah.
74 was
I
the
had
last
no
year.
idea. Was that wow?
No, 74 they were killed. They were killed.
74.
You know what's funny about car enthusiasts that you guys
What?
both are? It's like it's not just enthusiasm. You guys also will work on cars, and I find it funny that I know both of you and had this conversation that neither one of you guys ended up getting into mechanics, and I'm like, it always surprises me.
Wouldn't
that-
do it.
Yeah, and my
Yeah.
brother either.
Yeah,
Remember, you
wouldn't
almost
do it.
did, right? You almost went.
I was 30 days. I got hired as a mechanic for 30 days, but I didn't have enough. I just didn't have enough. You have to be able to troubleshoot, and if you don't have those skills, you can't be a good mechanic. But
Sure.
I had it in my hands. If I needed to swap out a bad transmission, get under there, unbolt the thing, take it out, no problem. Do a brake job, no problem. Shocks, no problem. But if it came to finding, troubleshooting why an engine's not going to start, well, you got a lot of places you got to start looking. And I
Mhm.
just wasn't good at troubleshooting. I didn't have enough years of experience to get my troubleshooting skills up to, up and running. Let's call
Right.
it that.
And Chris,
way.
you never
So-
wanted to be a mechanic either, right?
No, I never wanted to fix someone else's car.
Ah,
I just never wanted
that's
to
the
do
difference.
that.
Fixing your own because you can.
Yeah, I
Fix
never
your own
wanted to
machine.
do it. And a lot of my friends would say to me, you get into that habit where you're like, oh, I'll fix it for you. Next thing you know, you're subservient to every one of your
Yeah.
friends because you're like the
'Cause
group
they know.
mechanic.
Right.
Yeah.
They know.
So I would say, I will show you how to do it. I will stand there, you do it, and I'll show you how to do it.
Yeah,
I'll teach you
yeah.
what I know. And then I was doing it that way. But did I want to go into the business? No, absolutely not. I mean, I've sold cars, sold a ton of them. I used to work for I worked for Saturday Night Fever again. There's one scene when they're at a car lot. It's real fast. And they're looking at a car, and it's actually a Seville. They're looking at a Caddy Seville. I worked at that lot.
Oh wow.
That lot
Cool.
was called Globe Auto. It used to sit on 4th Avenue and 100th Street in Brooklyn. And I worked at that lot. So I sold cars there. And I worked at a chop shop. Since no one's listening, I could say that.
Exactly.
For a little while until it got
I don't
raided.
care. I don't care.
But no,
I'm
I
not
think
gonna. I'm not gonna turn you in.
Oh, and the funniest, this is what I did do, but only out of complete duress. I sold parts at Strauss store. So I had the red
Oh,
vest.
I remember Strauss. Yeah, I remember Strauss.
I sold, and I think I must have been there for about, I don't know, maybe about 3 months, Ray.
Yep.
You were a mechanic for 1 month. I think I sold parts for about 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a woman came out, dumb story. A woman came in, she had a Pontiac Ventura she didn't know the engine. She needed a fan belt, and I'm selling her parts. She walks up to me and she goes, I need a fan belt. What do you need it for? 72 Pontiac Ventura. Okay. I said, is it a 6-cylinder or an 8-cylinder? She said, I don't know. Now we're both looking at each other. So I said, okay, when you start the car, does it go zzz or does it go woo? She says it goes zzz. I said, the 6-cylinder, JO2, 12, 11, whatever.
Yeah, right.
I said,
right.
if it's the wrong belt, bring it back. She never
Yeah.
came back, so I figured I sold her the right belt.
Yeah.
50-50
enough.
chance. But yeah, I did sell
Car
parts. That was
sounds.
nice.
Those are great. Car
That
sounds
was,
are great.
Yeah, that was
Oh my
that.
gosh,
It's
yeah.
it's so funny. You talk about car sounds. 1 second, whenever I'm on the air and
Right.
people will ask a car noise, and Billy knows this all too well. Billy, whenever someone would ask a car noise, they would go, "Well, the car goes blub blub blub," and I'd have to stop the show completely and go, "What was that?" And they go, well, what do you mean? I go, you got to make the noise again. I'm like, what do you mean I got to make? And now you have having an argument with these people because they don't want to make the noise again, or they make the noise better the second time. So you put put our listeners in 2 different categories. But yeah, I would say, oh, make the noise again. Okay, blah blah blah. Oh, I know what that is now. Whatever it may be. But yeah, it's I would not want to get into the automotive field professionally, and I will do my research and do my due diligence and help anyone that wants to fix their car not a problem. But to actually have someone dangle the keys
Yeah.
in front of me and say it's broken, fix it. No.
Yeah,
How do you guys feel about electric cars?
Oh,
Fans? No.
Oh boy.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Sounds like you're not a
They're-
fan.
They're
Hey,
ridiculous fast. They're ridiculous fast. I'll tell you.
They
that
are.
much.
They're
Really?
ridiculously heavy too. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cars.
I'm
weigh
worried
like
about those
12 pounds.
batteries catching fire. And if it's just those articles out there to put a kibosh on electric vehicles or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've seen a couple of articles like that, and so it's made me like leery and cautious about electric vehicles. I mean, should I be?
Well,
I mean,
the technology is still too young. That's the problem. They're finding out there's problems now.
Yes.
It's just the technology is untested, and it's only going to, So this has to happen. Look, this is how things get better. We invent something. All of a sudden, it goes kaput. And we go, oh crap! Well, we need to fix this, and then we'll fix it. And then over
Right.
time, something else will go bad, and we're like, oh, gee, we need to fix that, and then we'll fix it.
I guess.
So
We should-
it's
we
the
should
same thing
already-
with electric cars.
we should already have a water powered car, and I know that there's like a documentary on a guy who had invented a water powered car, and he died suddenly, and he wasn't the first person. for that to
Fell out a
happen.
window. That happens a lot. That happens
Yeah.
a lot in Russia.
Yeah. Choked on a chicken bone, perhaps.
Yeah. What a shame.
He fell on a knife 10 times.
Yeah, at least. But just
Ba-doing,
real-
ba-doing, ba-doing. Yeah.
real fast. A lot of times when you talk about fires, it's because of these knuckleheads. A lot of people are experimenting and saying things like, "Oh, this extension cord will work just fine when I
Oh,
plug it."
gotcha.
Yeah.
So
I
a
didn't
lot
think
of
of that.
times you got that.
Yeah.
So a lot of these closet chemists are all out there trying to figure out the best way to do things because they're either too cheap or they didn't get it or whatever have you. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
one thing. I put that aside. But the main reason why I think my theory of electric cars and their popularity is because picture an electric car like a cell phone. Here's the reason why I say it that way, is because you purchase a cell phone and then you pay for it with a monthly plan, right? So if you
True.
want all these features, you just pay more per month. If you don't want these features, you don't pay that much more a month, but you still keep the same cell phone. They switch things on and off in your existing phone, right? They want
okay.
the same thing in a vehicle.
In a
Now,
vehicle.
here's the issue. Electric motors work very well with technology. Internal combustion engines, not so much. So they want to do away with the internal combustion engine so they can put an electric motor in its place so they can pretty much have free reign of all of their gizmos.
Yeah.
Case in point, like let's say you buy a new Tesla and you didn't want heated seats, right? You don't have to pay for that. So what do? You still have the same car. They just switch that little option off. Now you don't have heated seats. But let's say, I want to keep my bum warm. All right, I'll pay that extra per month charge because you're going to be paying per
Bam.
month.
Premium, bam, another premium, bam, another premium. Wow.
Right. So that's
wow.
what they're doing. They want that electric car, they want your car to be subscription based.
And
That's
talk
what they
about you guys. It's one of the first things you guys talked about early on was being able to do repairs. Forget about trying to do repairs on these things. Even
Well,
more
it's
so,
not really that
right?
Not
bad.
possible.
No, you can. If you think about it, let's say it's simple. It's a simple battery and a motor. That's really all it is. So
Less things can go wrong.
Right. There's less
Right?
things to go wrong. But let's say
Okay.
you have a battery with a bad cell. So what happens is you find that cell with a regular ohm meter, you pop the battery out, and you drop another one in. I got a buddy of mine right here in my neighborhood. He keeps buying and selling Priuses. That's what he's doing. He's buying them with bad batteries. He's finding the bad battery in the series of cells.
Fixing it up.
Yeah, he unsolders it, literally puts another one in,
Yeah.
puts it all back together, resells the car.
Damn.
So yeah, there are good things for an electric vehicle if you live 10 minutes from everything and you don't go any further than that, nothing better.
Yeah.
Nothing better than electrical
Yeah,
vehicle.
it's good for urban transportation.
Yes, exactly. But if you live in an area that has a driveway, if you live in an area that has access to stores 50 minutes away from your home, because if you live in a metropolis, how in God's name are you going to charge this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're right.
No one's figured that out yet. What are you going to have extension cords running out of your third floor window, out of your co-op, or running to the street down the block?
That's a good point. Yeah, right.
These things going to charge themselves? No. And this is what people are neglecting to think about. And that's why I just put my hands up. My conspiracy theory is that there's going to be carburetor people. These people that just have carburetors and they don't have any computers in their cars. I don't want anyone to know who I am. Anyone, the same people are going to be living in holes in the ground and, freeze drying food and everything, carburetor people. Those are the fanatics I see happening. They'll be sprouting up everywhere, like The Walking Dead. They're just going to be sprouting all over the place. Carburetor people. So
I wish we didn't have a reliance on gas and oil. That's one of my points of why, I'd like to see some kind of an alternate vehicle out there. I wish we didn't have.
What, Billy?
I wish it wasn't an electrical vehicle. I mean, I don't understand why we can't come up with like a solar car where the whole car is all like special solar formed panels.
They're working on it. Yeah, they're working on it. They're
soon
doing
enough.
that. No, definitely not soon enough. I don't know why anybody doesn't go for hydrogen. I still don't know why. Hydrogen is a wonderful
Hindenburg.
fuel. Think about it.
They don't want to. They don't want to. Yeah.
If it exploded, where did it go? It went up. What does gasoline do? Gasoline goes towards you. The hydrogen goes away from you.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I think hydrogen is the best fuel for the future, but nobody talks about it.
Right. They're afraid.
Well, it's the most abundant, right? It's the most abundant gas out there.
You could still keep your internal combustion engine, which is, no, don't want to do that because you don't want, doesn't work with a subscription plan.
Right. So, I thought that the water-based car did kind of something where it split the water, right, and probably used the the hydrogen.
Yeah.
So it's probably along the same lines, but
water would be a byproduct of burning hydrogen.
Yeah. Water would be a byproduct of burning hydrogen.
Yeah, so that's what you'd spit out of your
that's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Better than carbon monoxide and better than burning.
Hey, you clean the streets as you drive over. That's a great idea, huh? Kill two birds with one stone.
I like that.
I think the people that deliver mail should deliver pizza too, because they're already out there, right?
Why not?
Two birds with one stone, right?
Perfect.
There you go.
I'm in. Dual job.
Do you miss that, Chris, in Connecticut? The fact that I'm Brooklyn. There's so much more commercialization and just and just everything's so much closer, right? I mean, how are you? Because Ray's kind of like you're not. I wouldn't say you're in the woods, but you're kind of like.
I am in the woods. I'm literally in the woods.
All right, so Ray's in the woods.
I am 15 minutes away from civilization for the most part. Yeah.
Right. So even like gas station and like
no, there's a gas station.
Okay.
But I have to drive about 15 minutes to get to the nearest mall.
Okay.
Or Starbucks.
Food shopping. How about food shopping?
Food shopping is only 2 minutes away.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a food line right on the main drag, but if I want to get to the to the town, if I really want to get to town as they call it, it's a 15-minute drive.
How about you, Chris? How far are you from like a food place and stuff like that?
That is the one thing that I miss about Brooklyn is the fact that I was able to walk to go get a quart of milk. That does not happen now. Now I have to rely on
D'Agostino's, right? D'Agostino.
D'Agostino's.
There you go.
No,
D'Agostino's.
it was a 7-Eleven. That was the chain store. No, usually it was like some sort of Tiamo or some sort of bodega that sold you milk that maybe you better start drinking it soon because it was going to go bad in like 48 hours.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, no, it's the one thing I kind of miss about Brooklyn was that I would get off the train, walk, get a quart of milk, keep going home. It was go get a slice of pizza, keep going home.
Oh, right.
That wasn't so bad. Now everything's a project. And even though I'm not in the woods, everything is further than you say, Ray. If I had to go get a quart of milk, it would be a 15-minute drive.
Right. It's a drive. You can't.
15-minute drive. Yeah.
Right.
Here's the thing. You do it so many times, you get used to it.
Oh, yeah.
I get that.
The first time driving out to see this house, it felt like I was driving forever. Now it's like it goes by in a sec. I know all the landmarks. I don't even mind the drive anymore now.
Yeah.
So you do it so many times.
What's good for both of you guys is, and correct me if I'm wrong, compared to Long Island, you guys do 10 miles away. You could do it in 10 minutes. I mean, 10 miles here on the island, I'm sitting through lights and traffic. It's just getting worse and worse and more traffic here. For you guys, 10 minutes, 10 miles, I mean, for me.
And you spend half of that ride dodging potholes. We don't. We actually have good road. We actually have good roads.
Hell yeah. I don't understand. Where's all, corrupt governments? That's all I can think of.
That is one thing that I have to say. If I have to travel, and it's not anywhere in New York, but if I have to travel, make a 2-hour trip, I know it'll be 2 hours.
Yeah,
I know
that's
that.
nice.
Right. If it's a 90-minute trip, I know it's going to be 90 minutes, 9 out of 10 times. If I'm going into the city, I don't know how the hell long it's going to take. Right?
Right. Exactly.
You never know. You got to figure out the times you're leaving. You got to figure out if it's rush hour, not rush hour. You got to figure out if it's Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Is everyone going to the beach? Is everyone going to school? You got to take into consideration everybody's flight plan before you can walk out the door. And that's something I do not miss, and that's something I hated because you knew the commute. I would commute from Brooklyn to Bethpage and then back to Brooklyn again. Sometimes it would be an hour. Sometimes it would be 3. And that was every day. That was every day. That's why if I dashed out of the job at 4:00, I knew I was getting home at like 5 after 5. If I dashed out of the job at like 4:10, I wasn't getting home till like 5:45.
Yeah.
There was just, you had that window of opportunity and you kill yourself to try and make that window. Right. And I thought to myself, this is crazy. No civilized human being exists deals with this.
Right. Exactly.
It's impossible. It's just impossible to do all.
And
that.
I'm further out on the island, not like in the boroughs where you were, where it's even more. But and it's getting worse and worse out here. You got to be pushed even further. If I had the choice, I would move. Well, if I had a choice and had to stay on the island, I would move even further out east. But it just gets you further and further away.
Right.
And everything's even more of a trip to go. But at least you get a little bit less of the traffic and a little bit less of the people. Every square inch they can, they're building. It's either medical parks or it's housing. Medical parks and housing. That's all. That's all that's going up around here. That's all. That's all they're doing with anything.
People are moving out there to die.
No, they moved to Florida to die. They moved to Florida to die.
You have Bill. You have 347, right?
Oh yeah, that's our main road up here on the north. Yeah,
and that's your main road. I mean, you have to get on that just to get the heck out of Dodge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And the speed limit is 55. But
that's correct.
Ironically, the cars are only doing 30. So I can't figure this out. I don't know why this is. It says 55. I can see the sign, but why are we only doing 30?
Right.
At any time of the day. That's the other thing.
Yeah, right.
There's no more rush hour. It's rush day. Just forget hour. It's day. It's the rush day. It starts at 5 in the morning and doesn't end till 10 p.m.
It's true. It's true. You're right.
And when I hear people here in Virginia talk about the traffic and how bad the traffic is, I just laugh. I go, you
Oh.
people have no clue.
Yes.
A third of your life we spend on the roads in New
Yeah.
York, and you worried about a 5-minute delay here? Oh, give me a break.
I would give anything to get off the island. I'm constantly trying to, and the way it is right now, I just I've got to continue what I'm doing until I can make the move. And I give you guys a lot of credit. Ray, 30 years doing it. Chris, you've been doing it for now. I can't believe it's been 6 years. I can't believe that.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
6
Did
years.
you gain any new interests and hobbies up there that it's different than like here? I mean, did you become a hunter?
Oh, I chase gophers a lot. Yeah, I do.
I do taxidermy on squirrels. Yeah, it's the coolest thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's no shortage of them. There's no shortage of squirrels.
Oh my God.
It is so
Oh, yeah.
funny. What the boredom up here is, it'll kill you. The quiet at night will
Oh
keep you
yeah,
awake.
quiet. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's hysterical.
tell Billy about the quiet,
Yeah, right.
because he doesn't. They don't have a clue.
No, yeah. See, and what's funny, when you don't have it all the time, you're like, oh my God, I would love to go to a place that's quiet. Now, when you guys start doing it for weeks and months and years,
Yes.
Yeah.
and that becomes the norm, then it's probably like,
Yes.
right, like I guess there's some nights where you're like, you can't sleep because it's so quiet. No? I
Yes.
mean,
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, I sleep like a dead person. Oh no,
that-
I like it quiet. I moved here, 20 minutes away from where I was to get quiet. So yeah.
There are times where I wish I can hear the sound of the subway, the elevated subway train going by.
Every
Because
10
I used
minutes.
to fall asleep to that. Yeah, you fall asleep to that in Brooklyn, and I just wanted to get like a loop, just a loop, an audio loop of
playing in the
that.
background.
Just play in the background. Yeah, I'll fall right to sleep. It'd be great.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, every once in a while, because the crickets will keep you awake too. It's
Right. Right.
and the funny thing is, my wife is not from Brooklyn, even though she lived there with me for a good period of time. She's originally from Jersey. So the funny thing is, she'll hear noises out there. She'll go, oh, that's a tree frog. That's a cricket. She'll go, well, and I'm like, how in the hell? All I hear is, that's all I hear, this collective insect, frog, tadpole noise. And she can
Right.
pick them all out, I should say. I'm like, nature
That's
girl.
country people for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah. So that's basically what I've come to realize. I am.
She likes the
entertained
country.
for
She
my
likes living like.
She loves it.
She loves it.
Yeah, she hated Brooklyn with a passion.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her, because it was just not. It's not a place to raise. I don't think it's a place to raise kids. I don't think it's a place that's
No, I
healthy.
agree. Yeah.
It's not a place where you can thrive. It's a place where you survive. You don't thrive there.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's your main goal, just to survive.
yeah, just to get through it.
Hey, guys, Ray, Chris, going to take a quick break right now. We'll be right back after this. This is Bill, and you're listening to Pull Yourself to Pieces, the podcast, hosted on Anchor. You never heard of Anchor? Anchor by Spotify is a podcast host platform, and it's an easy way to make a podcast. We picked Anchor because they have everything we needed all in one place. You can record and edit a podcast from your computer or even right from your phone. Then you can have your podcast distributed easily to multiple platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and much more. And did I mention it's free? That's right. Anchor is free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. We're back. Okay, we're back. Where were we now?
Oh yeah. And I must admit, and Ray, I'm sure you can see this. If you think about when you lived in New York, all the things that aggravated your guts on a daily basis that
Yeah.
you now no longer have to deal with. Like 90% of my daily aggravation was gone. And I could start it with alternate side of the street parking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
A nightmare. I remember my
Nightmare.
mother running out in her house dress. I got to
Yeah.
move the car. I got to move the car. Like,
Exactly.
and I always think, why? Why do you have to move the car across the street?
Right.
Why is the other side of the street better than our side of the street? It never made any sense. It just never made any damn sense to me at all. Alternate side of the street park.
Alternate
Why?
side.
So the street sweeper could come by and just
Yeah.
move the dirt around, because they never really got rid of the dirt. It just kind
Right.
of swept it around.
Put it back in
It
the
left
middle
a
of the street.
trail.
wet.
One.
Made
It was
wet.
like a snail. You know, when a snail goes by, you see like this trail. That's
Yeah.
what the street sweeper would do. It never cleaned the street.
No, never did. So that,
But
and
that was
we-
that. But that was the whole reason for a alternate side, so that
Oh,
the
really? That
street
was the reason?
speakers could-
That was it.
That was it.
Oh, I
That
didn't
was the
know
only
that.
reason.
Oh,
Yes.
I just thought it was to try give tickets to get more money. I didn't.
No. Well,
Oh,
that
I-
too. But
Oh,
that's
that-
besides
yeah.
the point.
There was
That's
a side
besides the-
revenue.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
revenue acquisition. Yeah, definitely. But Ray's right. That's what you did. You moved your car away for a couple of hours, let the street sweeper go by, and you put your car back.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that was the reason. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so
that
funny.
was
I'm
it.
thinking it was just like, let's just do this.
No.
Oh no.
Make it
And-
inconvenient for people, and then whoever we can get, we
No.
get it on a ticket.
Yeah, so
No,
it's so funny
that was
because I'll still listen to New York News Radio, like 1010 Wins. I'll still listen to it up here, and you'll hear, alternate side of the street parking is suspended. So I'll call down to Dawn. Dawn, alternate side of the street parking suspended. She's like, great, I don't have to move the car. No, you don't have to move the car. What are we gonna do?
John 1010 Wins. That was John Maher. Remember John Maher on 1010
Yeah.
Wins? He used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, his son Bill Maher. Bill Maher is he's the guy that does that show on Showtime.
Oh, he is really.
John Maher was his father. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He was a radio guy. Yeah. A lot of people
Holy
don't know that.
smoke.
That Bill Maher's father was John Maher from 1010 Wins.
Oh, really?
Really?
I used to listen to him as a kid because I had we only had AM radios back in the early 60s.
Oh, remember those days?
Mhm,
Yeah.
sure do.
AM
I
radio.
Sure do.
AM
That
radio.
was a big deal. The car came with an AM radio.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, Ray. I listen to, people ask me what kind of music I listen to now that I'm older. It's kind of funny. I have not been involved in new music or popular music in the last 20 years. Now
Oh,
that I have,
You
now
got that in
I have-
common with Ray too.
30.
now-
I go back to
Yeah, it's true.
30 years.
Probably
I haven't,
30.
I
I'm
haven't
probably-
listened. Right. No more radio. No more listening to music
Do
on
you
the
know
radio.
what I listen to now? Now I've
Country music.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
oh, really? I was kidding.
No.
Sinatra.
You know this,
listening to
Billy.
Sinatra.
Billy knows this all too well. I listen to radio air checks. I still do. Like I go online and
Right.
find a snippet of Dan Ingram on WABC back
Oh
in
my gosh, Dan
1971.
Ingram. I
And
remember it
will
well.
find that, and I will take that snippet, whatever it is, that 8 minutes or 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
I will just throw it in my Windows Media, and just literally just play it. I have about 400 hours of old
Wow.
radio air checks of
Wow.
New York and California radio the way it was, and
Wow.
people think that I've lost my mind.
Hey, listen, man. I'm right there with you. It was Harry Harrison was up first at 6,
Yeah,
and then Ron Lundy came on
right.
at 10,
Mhm,
and then what's his name? Dan Ingram came on, and I forget who was the afternoon guy. Cousin Brucey was in on the afternoon. Remember?
Brucey was usually on after. Yeah, they kept hours, like I think Harry Harrison was up till 10 a.m.
From 6 to
Yeah,
10,
Lundy was from like 10 to 2.
10 to 12, 10 to 2,
No,
right?
It was 10 to 2, and then
10 to 2.
Ingram was like 2 to 6, and
Yep.
then it was Brucey.
Cousin Brucey.
Right, and then
You
it was
know-
like
Yeah.
what? That was
I
like
was gonna
Chuck
say,
Leonard or
Right.
on the overnights.
What I can see how some people might say, oh, that's kind of odd, but I get the nostalgia component
Yeah.
of that because
Mhm.
it's like, I don't know, it's like listening to old commercials,
Yeah,
there's this
Here's-
I don't know,
And
there's
they're
this this is
The
this feeling
DJs,
of,
the DJs were entertaining back
Yeah.
then. They were.
yeah,
They were personalities. They
Yes.
weren't guys
Yep.
just spinning
Yes.
records. They were
no,
personalities.
no,
Mhm.
exactly,
And you appreciated each of, everybody had their own little different way of entertaining, the listeners. Everybody
right.
did.
Yeah,
You-
they did.
it-
They all
you
had
know,
their style.
I mean, it's sad that radio is pretty much, it's practically gone.
It is
Yeah.
almost gone.
I
yeah,
know,
think
I know. It's
it
sad.
is.
And the only thing that's, I guess, that has kind of sort of emerged more and more is the podcast thing, like this thing that we do.
Right.
And it's and what's great, I mean, is the fact that, like, I wanted to make sure we covered this, Chris, is the fact that you're doing an FM radio show, but
Right.
you are able to channel it to different areas. So, it's on the internet, so anybody can hear it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Anywhere in the world. And that's what, that's what's good. I mean, that's the only good thing that has happened with any kind of radio like, I don't know how else to explain it, but any kind of radio like type of entertainment, right? I mean, and there's a whole video component. I know, with your show, you guys have a video component. Obviously not when it's on the radio, but when it's, someone who wants to go and check it out on YouTube or online, whatever, they're going to see a video component.
Well, yeah,
I've been trying. Ray's been trying to convince me, but when I look in the mirror, there's no way I'm getting in front of it.
You got that face for radio. No, it's funny because that's what we've been doing in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
We've been doing MotorMouth Video, which is we have figured out a way to have it on YouTube Live.
Yeah.
So every 12 o'clock on a Sunday, if you go to our MotorMouth Video channel on YouTube, you can
How do they find that? Is it just called MotorMouth Radio on YouTube?
MotorMouth Video.
Look up MotorMouth Video on YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
On YouTube. And that's what we do. We it's basically talking heads.
Right.
Ray's in the studio. I'm in my office,
right,
with the headset on, and we both have our Zoom squares, our Zoom videos open. We bring in guests from there. Just today we had a recurring guest on with us. His name is Carl Anthony from automoblog.net. We had him on, and he came in the Zoom chat room, I guess you could say, and we have that on that hour-long video saved. It was aired live, and then it was archived.
Right.
And now what I do is I'll take that archive video and find like 4 minutes of it, and then I'll take that and put it on Instagram. I'll put it on Facebook. Like I'll do that. I'll drop those little snippets and I'll say, here's 4 minutes of the insanity.
Yeah, a little preview, a little promo to get people to go
and go watch the rest of it over here.
Hey, it works.
And it does. It really, really does. And we're motormouthradio.com. Obviously, we have a website that I'm still in the process of trying to get back together again.
Cool.
And on Instagram, it's real_motormouth radio. So we're trying to embrace the social media, even though I'm like, it's because I'm the age I am. I mean, I'm learning about it. Someone actually mentioned to me that me and us, I guess you could say all of us together, we're all computer immigrants. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, right.
And they said, like, because it's almost like they're the kids, they speak this language. They've grown up with this.
Yeah.
When we haven't. We grew up where we actually had social skills. And now we're adapting. That's why I think everything we do computer-wise is kind of clunky, almost like talking English from a different country. It's just got this clunky sort of feeling when kids just flow right through it. They know exactly what to do and slap it on.
Natural.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of go like, ugh, because I have to get into that uncomfortable space and do that, even though I don't mind it once it's done.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, great, it's done. But yeah, it's gotten to that point. But we're doing it. We're getting it going, and we're getting viewers slowly. But you know how it is to try and acquire viewers and followers.
Oh yeah, I mean, another reason why I don't do video. Once they get one look at us, we'll lose the three listeners we have.
Yeah,
and 2 of those listeners are me and Ray. So
yeah, that's right. Exactly right. Yeah,
I'm
already
getting tired of listening to Ray. I'm really
I'm tired of listening to you, Bill. Same old stuff every week.
Every week. I'm listening to you guys.
Now that's 4 of us now. Now there's 4 of us.
But yeah, it's a good show. I'm loving it. This is great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're
trying. Yeah. The early shows, I was telling Chris, before we came on, the early shows, we did a lot more production, and Ray knows this. Ray did most of the writing of the material. We had so much more material. It was just a lot of work, and that show transformed over the years. Over the years.
It just got easier.
It's going to be 2 years. We're going to be doing this show 2 years in September.
Wow.
And I can't believe we did it that long. Yeah.
Wow.
But nowhere compared to you doing. I can't believe you've been doing the MotorMouth Radio for 20 years now. It's gonna
Over
be
20 years. Yeah.
over 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully
First
20
show-
more to go.
That's
Yeah,
fabulous.
great.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, the show started January 6, 2002. So
Wow.
yeah, we just celebrated we're in our 21st
That's awesome.
21st year doing it. And it's so funny when you talk about writing down scripts. It is amazing how we still have guests that will come on. They'll have a script all laid out, and
Really?
the first thing we tell them is just put that aside. You don't need that.
Right.
My cousin said it the best one time. We had him on the show because he was a machinist by trade, and he said, "I prepared nothing for your show," and we're like, "Fine, that's perfect. Come on in." That's exactly what we're
Oh, my
looking
gosh.
for. No preparation whatsoever. So when Billy, you had told me that you were writing scripts and everything, I'm like, "Oh, that'll end."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so glad it did.
I wrote a couple of our long things. Right. I wrote one of our Christmas shows, and I wrote.
Oh God, you did.
And I
you
wrote
Christmas-
our parade show. We did it.
the parade show.
Yeah, like a New Year's parade show, which was
Oh,
ridiculous.
We're the color commentators on a fake parade, and
that's awesome.
it was out of our heads. But Billy penned the whole thing. He wrote the entire thing,
That's
and
incredible.
it's
I
really
love it.
theater of the mind because you sit there, close your
yeah.
eyes, and you can imagine these floats going by that we are describing, and it's absolutely hilarious.
We just
because,
pulled the curtain, and we just revealed, we weren't supposed to do that, right? We're not supposed to tell our audience that we.
That's okay.
What the hell did we just do?
It's just 3 of them.
Oops.
Don't worry about it. I thought 3 listeners.
Yeah, we do the same thing with the Mother's Day show. We always have a best of show for the year, and,
Right.
and we take all of whatever comments or yucks, big
Right.
laughs, whatever it is.
Or Mother's
And
Day,
we'll-
because it makes sense.
Mother's Day, because the whole idea was because we would never be able to get a guest on Mother's Day because everybody's with their moms. So we
Right.
we used to do a best of show and then go see our mothers. Well,
Right.
it kind of turned into mothers started to die off, and so it's like, what do you want to do on Mother's Day? Let's do a radio show. All right, what a great idea. So we did, and we wanted to keep the best of going, so we used to do it from a undisclosed location. So we had like the soundtrack of a bar, just clinking glasses and
Oh,
people
I like that.
talking.
Oh, I love it. That's
Yeah.
great.
So we just had that. So that was
Yeah.
our undisclosed location. So it sounded like we were in a bar. And my co-host Ray would take it one step further and start announcing who was walking in. Hey, look, there's whomever guest it was. There's
Right. Yeah. Good. I love it.
Hey, there's Jay Leno. Like Jay Leno's going to do our show. He never. Hey, it's Jay Leno. Look, he's walking in. He's saying hello to everybody. Here's Richard Petty. Yeah, another one. Hey, saying hello
I
to
love
him. So we would do stuff like that. We should go over and talk to them. No, they're too busy.
Right. Of course. There's always a
they're
reason not to talk to them.
Right. They're waving us
Exactly.
off. No, all right, we'll go
Yeah,
buy
no.
the food. So it was, and it's always such a charge when you listen to it. It's really, to me, it's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
fun doing that.
Yeah.
It's just great. So I love the parade. The parade idea is fantastic. I got to listen
Oh,
to
yeah,
that.
you gotta
show.
check
And
it
the
out.
thing
You
is,
gotta-
I'm
you gotta
pretty
check
sure
it
if I
out.
remember correctly, when we did the parade thing, I don't think we braked on it. Like, in other words, it's as if we did it live, and that's the difference. I mean,
Yeah.
I give you so much credit that you guys do a show, and that's what real radio is. It's live. You guys
Yeah,
do
sure.
a live show, and it is we're we're doing a podcast. I mean, this is going to air in a couple of days,
Right.
God willing, and I get to edit it, or the world doesn't explode, or
Not if I get to say
equipment
anything
breaks
about
or
it.
something.
I said, Billy, don't air that. No, it's the funny thing about live radio is the best way to handle it is never take yourself seriously. Don't bother.
Oh, we don't take ourselves seriously
Yeah,
at all here.
exactly.
No.
Oh, no.
We've had explosions. We've had lights go out. We've had
Right.
all kinds of technological snafus. And you just go, hey, live radio. Okay,
Right.
play a song,
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Our
We have-
intention. Go ahead.
Do you have dead air? Because we have dead air.
The funny thing,
our dead air is pretty funny. I have to say.
yeah, there's sometimes where, let's put it this way, being a classically trained radio guy, you really don't want to have dead air. So usually what I try to do is repeat what the heck I just said to you like 10 minutes ago. So a lot of times I'll throw out the phone number. And
Sure.
usually that used to work. I would throw out the phone number, and if by the time you're doing that, you've already set yourself up to say something else. So you throw out the phone number because you're at a loss for words because you're watching everybody freak out in the studio. So say the phone number, then go, MotorMouth Radio, we're taking those calls, just heard from so-and-so. And you just do that. You just do a lot of reviewing while you watch your co-host freak out in the studio, because that has happened.
Right.
There has been times where the like technology will just wipe itself out, and the only person that's left standing is me. And I'm watching Ray, and his mouth is moving, and he's not saying anything. But meanwhile, I hear myself in the headphones. I'm like, I'm the only boob on the air here. So I'm the one running the show. So let me just keep yakking away. So that's what you do.
Speaking of boobs on the air, it is time for me to exit. So you two are going to continue this. I have to go. I mean, I have to go.
All right, we're call an end to it. Chris, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We would love for you to come back again. I'm sure there's plenty of things we can be talking about, cars.
Yeah,
radio
you need to come back so we can talk about music, because we didn't really get to talk about music.
There we go. Yes.
So you need to come back for part 2.
Okay.
And,
all right.
And
it's MotorMouth Radio. It's MotorMouthRadio.com. It's also on YouTube. And we encourage every one of our handful of listeners to go and check them out. We will.
Well, thank
You'll
you.
learn about cars and how to fix them.
Exactly.
That's the glory of that. Yeah.
That is really it. We always take car questions, and we always have a good time doing it. Just like this show, we just mostly focus on cars. We talk about food and other things, but I like that you guys have this wider array of conversation, which I think is so.
We've had a couple of serious shows, a couple of serious topics, but we try to find humor in things. But we know that if it's going to be a topic that's going to has to be serious, there's the conversation has to go that way, and we respect that. We've always tried to respect the guest or our audience. Maybe we don't respect each other, but we respect the guest.
Right. We have to respect the guest.
Right.
And on
that note, again, Chris, thanks again so much.
Thank you.
Yes, Chris, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up the show. And everybody out there, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you soon. Ray, what do you got to say?
Be good to each other out there.
There it is. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Please check out our website, pullyourselftopieces.com.
That's right.
And you can subscribe to the show in Google and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Stitcher, and YouTube, or via RSS, so you'll never miss an episode.
And if you enjoy our show, don't forget to give us a high rating.
And remember to tell your friends about the show.
Thanks for listening to our show, and thank you to freesounds.org and Gottlieb, Audio Mirage, Plasterbrain, Cognito Perceptu, FK Prod, Mirage Hazer, Shadow Wisp, D-Boss, Viku Seru, Intra Environmental Sound Project, Julian Nicholas, Carmelo Mike, G Kill Hour, 140178 Sound, CMU Sound Design, Alan Mchi, Der Super Anton, Eric H2000, Bulbastray, FK Phantom, Ultra Dust, Ada Records, Stuart Colborn, Debroid, Cubidup, GJ, Syntax Seed, Inspector J, Astounded, Madge 061785, Just Invoke, Short Record, Lorenzo Sue, and I'm Mackenzie. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/legal code.